The consumer watchdog is taking on Coles in the federal court.
If you're the former, you've been getting ripped off as part of a systemic price fraud.
Are you telling your customers that your prices are going down, when in fact, they were going up?
The tags show you the previous price and then they show you the new, supposedly lower price.
Do you trust the major supermarkets? I don't trust. Oh shit, no.
If proven, it's misleading, deceptive, unlawful, and very poor conduct indeed.
The worst thing the supermarkets ever did was this is the introduction of this fake discounts.
Prices are down and staying down at Coles.
Not so much.
Coles is facing what could be the biggest consumer fraud case in Australian history. 245 products, 15 months of alleged fake discounts, and you probably fell for it. Former competition bosses are calling this the case of the century. If Coles loses, penalties could hit hundreds of millions, and you might get cash refunds from class action lawsuits that follow. Secret number 10, the fake discount scam that could cost Coles hundreds of millions. Picture this, you grab Strepsils off the shelf. Big red ticket says, was $7, now $6. You think you just saved $1. You didn't. You got scammed. That Strepsils sat at $5.5 for 2 years straight, over 640 days at that exact price. Then one morning, Coles allegedly spiked it to $7. Just 28 days later, down it comes to $6 with massive red discount tickets plastered everywhere. You actually paid 50 cents more than the price that existed for nearly 2 years. The ACCC calls this illusory discounting. Translation, fake savings engineered to trick you into thinking you're getting a bargain when you're actually paying more than normal. And it wasn't just Strepsils. Federal investigators allege this happened across 245 everyday items over 15 months between February 2022 and May 2023. Arnott's Shapes, Coca-Cola, paper towels, dog food, yogurt, products millions of Australians buy every single week without thinking twice about the price. A viewer tracked Tim Tams the same way. He'd been buying the same pack for months at $3.5. One Wednesday morning, he walked in and nearly fell over. Price tag, $5. He thought it was a system error. Thursday afternoon, he went back and boom, giant yellow ticket was $5, now $3.50. He grabbed his phone and photographed the entire thing. That wasn't a discount, that was psychological manipulation theater. The pattern was identical every time. Keep the price stable for at least 6 months, sometimes over a year. Spike it up briefly, as little as 4 weeks. Then drop it back down and plaster it with down. Marketing like you're getting an incredible bargain. Former ACCC boss Graham Samuel didn't mince words when asked about this. They deserve to have the book thrown at them. Your move, screenshot every single, was now ticket you see at Coles. Use price tracking apps. Keep receipts. This case could trigger class action refunds, and you'll need proof of what you actually paid during that 15-month window. Because if the ACCC wins, this doesn't just hit Coles. It changes how every retailer in Australia can advertise discounts. But first, you need to see something that'll make your stomach turn. Secret number 9, the meat repackaging trick that hides real age. Walk past Coles meat section. Big signs everywhere, freshly cut today. Makes you feel good, right? Like there's a dedicated butcher cutting premium steaks just for you. Here's what freshly cut today actually means. Meat arrives at Coles already vacuum packed from processing plants, sitting in those packages for 7 to 10 days since it was originally cut. When it reaches stores, staff transfer it into plastic trays and slap on fresh labels that say cut today with today's date. Technically accurate? Sure, they cut open the package today, but that meat traveled around for over a week first. A former Coles butcher leaked this after quitting. The directive from management was clear: maximize shelf life by any legal means. That meant constant repackaging with new use-by dates calculated from the repackaging day, not the original processing date. When meat gets really close to expiring, some stores grind it into mince. That's right, your fresh ground beef might be steaks that were about to be thrown out. Brand new label, brand new date, sold as prepared fresh today. Same deception in the bakery. Those baked fresh today items, most arrived frozen days earlier, got defrosted overnight, then finished in store ovens that morning. The smell pumped through ventilation makes you think there's actual baking from scratch. There isn't. Here's what to do. Check actual use by dates, not cut today labels. Look for multiple sticker layers. If meat looks darker at edges or smells slightly off even with a fresh label, walk away. Because fresh at Cruels is often theatre. And speaking of theatre, wait till you see how they manipulated your kids. Secret number 8, the Little Shop collectibles scheme that manipulated families. Remember Cool's Little Shop? Those miniature collectible versions of real grocery products they handed out to kids? Looked innocent, right? Cute little plastic Vegemite jars and Nutella containers. Kids loved them. It was brilliantly engineered psychological manipulation targeting families. Here's the mechanic: spend $30, get one collectible. Sounds harmless, but research from consumer psychologists found parents reported spending 25 to 40% more during Little Shop campaigns because children were pestering them relentlessly. One mum from Brisbane tracked her spending over the 3-month campaign. Normal weekly shop, $95 average. During Little Shop, $143 average. That's an extra $48 per week, nearly $600 over the campaign, chasing plastic toys that cost maybe $2 each to manufacture. Cruels made certain collectibles deliberately rare to trigger obsessive collecting. Parents visited multiple stores, made unnecessary trips, bought products they'd normally skip, all to find that one missing piece. Some were selling rare collectibles on eBay for $20-30. The environmental impact was horrendous. Millions of plastic miniatures flooded Australian households. Within 6 months, most ended up in landfill. Consumer groups criticised Cruels heavily, but Cruels kept running variations because the profit impact was massive. Internal estimates suggested Little Shop campaigns increased store traffic by 15-20 and average transaction values by 30% plus during campaign periods. Smart play: never let promotional collectibles influence spending. If your kids want the complete set, wait until the campaign ends and buy it on eBay for $20-30 instead of spending hundreds chasing them in store. Because those free collectibles aren't free. They cost families hundreds, while Cruels made millions. And speaking of things that aren't what they seem, secret number 7, dropped and locked prices that weren't locked at all. Cruels ran massive campaigns around dropped and locked pricing. Big yellow tags, bold promises that prices had been permanently reduced and locked in place. It was temporary pricing dressed as permanent commitment. An investigation tracked 50 products with dropped and locked tags over 6 months. Within that window, 38 of those 50 products had prices raised again. Some lasted barely 8 weeks. A Sydney viewer tracked Cruels white bread obsessively. It went dropped and locked at $3.2 with massive signage. 6 weeks later, the yellow tag vanished. 2 weeks after that, $3.85. No announcement, just quietly raised. When she complained with her tracking spreadsheet, management shrugged. The campaign concluded for that product, so it was never actually locked permanently. Just limited time promotion with deliberately misleading branding. In 2023, Consumer Group Choice called out Cruels publicly for breaking these promises. The backlash forced Cruels to refund customers on 20 items where they'd violated their own locked commitment. But how many others quietly increased without refunds? The play: treat dropped and locked like any temporary special. Stock up if the price is competitive right now, but check back in 6 weeks. You'll probably catch it rising, because locked at Cruels just means locked until it's profitable to unlock it, and while they're playing pricing games, they're crushing the people who actually make your food. Secret number 6, the supplier crushing tactics that kill quality. Cruels' market power lets them bully suppliers in ways that devastate Australian producers and reduce the quality of products you're buying. A Victorian dairy farmer shared his story after shutting down. Cruels demanded he lower his milk price by 8%. He showed them his costs had increased 12% due to feed and energy. Cruels' response: find efficiencies or we'll find another supplier. After 30 years of farming on land his grandfather worked, he shut down. Cruels replaced his milk with imported product at lower quality but higher margins for themselves. Small suppliers across Australia face brutal terms, 45-day payment delays while Cruels sells immediately, automatic 2% annual price cuts regardless of costs, $15,000 plus yearly marketing fees just to keep shelf space, and if products don't sell fast, Cruels returns them and charges you for the space they occupied. When suppliers can't survive these predatory terms, Cruels replaces them with cheaper imports or factory alternatives. Quality drops. Innovation dies. You lose choice. Former suppliers have sued Cruels repeatedly over unfair practices. Most settle with non-disclosure agreements, so the abuse continues quietly while Cruels marketing runs campaigns about supporting Australian producers. What to do when possible: buy from farmers markets or independent grocers where you can meet actual producers. Every dollar outside Cruels' system supports suppliers who aren't being crushed. Because when Cruels bullies suppliers into bankruptcy, you lose quality, but supplier quality isn't the only thing they're lying about on labels. Before we continue, if you want exclusive content and to help us keep exposing these retail tricks, the join button is right there. Your support keeps this channel running. Alright, let's get back to it. Secret number 5, the Australian grown deception hiding on labels. You grab Cruels tomatoes. Right there on the packaging, green and gold kangaroo logo, Australian grown. Makes you feel good supporting local farmers. Check the fine print hiding on the back, packed in Australia from imported and local ingredients. That kangaroo logo is on products that are barely Australian at all. Labelling laws are so weak that Cruels uses that logo on products up to 90% imported as long as some minor processing happened. Here, the examples are infuriating. Australian olive oil grown and processed in Greece, then just bottled in Melbourne. Australian canned tomatoes where Italian tomatoes were shipped here and canned locally. Australian frozen vegetables grown in China, frozen there, repackaged here. Australian beef where cattle spent maybe 90 days in an Australian feedlot after being raised overseas. And some products have different sourcing by season, but identical labels year-round. Your Australian strawberries in December might genuinely be local. In June, they're from California, but the label never changes. You're paying premium prices thinking you're supporting Australian farmers. You're actually subsidizing Cruels' global sourcing while they harvest your patriotic dollars. Your move: ignore kangaroo logos, read fine print, look for product of Australia which has stricter standards than Australian made or Australian grown. Better yet, buy from farmers markets where you can verify origin directly, because that kangaroo is often nationalist branding, not truth. And speaking of dishonest systems, this next one uses technology to exploit you. Secret number 4, the pricing system that spikes when you're desperate. Cruels is rolling out electronic shelf labels across stores. They market it as modern convenience. It's actually powered dynamic pricing that adjusts automatically based on time of day, weather, demand patterns. And if you're using Flybays, your personal shopping behavior, the price at 2 p.m. Tuesday could be dramatically different from 6 p.m. Friday for the exact same product. A tech contractor who installed these systems revealed the algorithm's core objective: identify the maximum price each customer segment will tolerate before they abandon the purchase. Translation: charge you the absolute most you'll pay before you walk away. One Perth viewer tracked frozen pizza systematically. Tuesday 2:30 p.m. $6.5. Friday 6:45 p.m. when people are tired and want quick dinner, $8.5. That's 30% more purely based on timing and desperation. Bread surges Saturday mornings. Water costs more during heat waves. Medicine increases in winter. It's not illegal, but it's predatory, charging vulnerable customers more when they're desperate, tired, or rushed. And with Flybays tracking, the system can personalize pricing. If you always buy a specific brand and never compare, why charge you the lowest price? The system learns your behavior and exploits it. Here's what to do: check prices at different times. Shop off-peak, mid-morning. Weekdays are cheapest. Use Flybays sparingly to avoid personalization, because those electronic labels use data to extract maximum profit from your desperation. And that psychology extends to their membership program. If you're finding this valuable and want to support the channel with exclusive perks, hit that join button below. It helps us keep these breakdowns coming. Now let's keep going. Secret number 3, the Cruels Plus membership trap that increases spending. Cruels Plus, $19 monthly for exclusive benefits and free delivery, sounds useful. It's engineered to lock you into spending more. Do the math, $180 annually for the annual subscription. Non-members pay $10.15 per delivery. You need 12-18 deliveries just to break even, meaning shopping online every 2-3 weeks consistently all year. But here's the trap. Cruels Plus requires $50 minimum for free delivery. If you are doing quick 30-40 trips in store, now you're pressured to spend $50 plus every time to use your benefit. An Adelaide subscriber tracked this for a year. Before Plus, $180 weekly shopping in store. After, $240 weekly ordering online to maximize delivery. The membership saved $600 in FEs but cost $3,120 in extra spending. Net loss, $2,520. And their exclusive member pricing. Independent analysis found 78% of Cruels Plus exclusive prices matched or exceeded sale prices at competitors the same week. Plus, it creates sunk cost fallacy. You prepaid $180, so your brain pushes you to get your money's worth by shopping there more, choosing delivery when inconvenient, spending extra to hit $50 minimums. Smart play, calculate honest delivery frequency first. Unless you're doing $50 plus orders every 2-3 weeks consistently, the membership costs more than it saves. Because Cruels Plus isn't savings, it's spending. Psychology, lock-in. And while they're locking you in, they're destroying competition. Secret number 2, the local business elimination playbook. Cruels plasters stores with supporting local communities campaigns, charity partnerships, sports sponsorships, feel-good marketing everywhere. Behind the scenes, they're systematically destroying actual local businesses using a documented, repeatable playbook. Here's how it works. Cruels opens in an area with thriving independent grocers, butchers, bakeries. They run specific categories at below-cost pricing for 6-12 months, deliberately losing money to undercut local competitors who can't match. One by one, local businesses hemorrhage customers. They try to compete, explain quality differences, survive on loyalty. But when Cruels sells staples below wholesale cost, the math becomes impossible. Local businesses close. Within 2 to 3 years, most independent food retailers are gone. Once competition is eliminated, Cruels raises prices back to profitable levels. Now they're the only convenient option. A Melbourne butcher named James documented this exactly. His shop operated for 40 years. Cruels opened 800 meters away in 2019. Within 6 months, Cruels sold premium Scotch fillet for $3 per kilo, less than James' wholesale cost. He showed customers invoices, explained he couldn't match without losses. Most went where beef was cheaper. He fought for 2 years, even took out loans. In 2021, he closed. Within 6 months, Cruels meat prices in that location increased 40%. Those community support campaigns? James calculated Cruels spent $2,000 sponsoring local soccer while driving over $200,000 of his annual revenue permanently out of the community. Independent businesses actually support communities. They employ locals, source nearby, sponsor activities without media coverage. They're genuine community fabric. Cruels extracts profit, sends it to shareholders, and runs marketing claiming they're heroes. The play, support local businesses when you can. That price difference stays in your community and prevents Cruels from monopoly pricing power. Because once independents are dead, Cruels sets whatever prices they want. Which brings us back to the federal case forcing accountability. Secret number 1, the case of the century that could change everything. Everything we've covered today, from fake discounts to supplier crushing to local business elimination, it all connects back to one federal court case happening right now. And former competition regulators are calling it the case of the century for consumer protection in Australia. Those aren't my words. That's former ACCC chairs Alan Fels and Graham Samuel, the people who literally wrote the book on Australian competition law, using that exact phrase. Social media helped crack this case. TikToker Paniora Nuku Nuku started posting videos in 2022 questioning Cruels' pricing tactics. His content wasn't slick or professional, just honest observations about prices that didn't make sense. Those videos went viral. Tens of thousands of Australians started paying closer attention and noticing the same patterns. Simultaneously, consumer group Choice was flooded with complaints about Cruel's discount pricing that seemed misleading. Social media evidence combined with Choice's research gave the ACCC enough ammunition to build a federal case. The court is examining 12 representative products from 245 affected items: Arnott's Shapes, Strepsils, Coca-Cola, paper towels, dog food, yogurt, and others, millions bought between February 2022 and May 2023. If Cruel's loses, here's what happens: financial penalties. Former ACCC boss Alan Fels publicly predicted penalties in the hundreds of millions of dollars. For context, Qantas paid $100 million for cancelled flights. Volkswagen paid $125 million for emissions fraud. Fels believes Cruel's could face $200,300 million, potentially the largest consumer protection penalty against a major retailer in Australian history. Customer refunds. Legal firms are already preparing class action lawsuits that will automatically launch if Cruel's loses. If you bought any of those 245 products during that 15-month period, you could receive actual cash refunds. Your shopping receipts from that period suddenly become valuable legal documents. Industry transformation. Every was now ticket across Australian retail would need stricter standards. Retailers would need to prove the was price genuinely existed as regular price for substantial periods, not brief spikes. That precedent affects every supermarket, department store, online retailer using comparative pricing. Woolworths Domino. The ACCC has an almost identical lawsuit ready against Woolworths. If Cruel's loses badly, Woolworths will probably settle to avoid similar penalties. If Cruel's wins, the Act's leverage evaporates. New laws from July 1st, and new law bans excessive grocery pricing. The ACCC has flagged more court actions coming under stricter rules designed to close the loopholes Cruel's has been exploiting. Cruel's defense. Inflation hit 8.4% in 2022. Suppliers requested increases in 243 of 255 instances. They claimed the original price was superseded by changed costs. But here's why that defense is shaky. If costs justified permanent increases, why did prices only spike for 4-6 weeks before coming back down? Why weren't increases sustained? Why the theatrical spike then discount pattern if the increases were genuinely needed? The court will examine whether Cruel's intended to mislead customers versus legitimately responding to costs. The court has granted Cruel's the right to keep certain evidence confidential, including expert reports and witness affidavits. Senior executives and board members won't be testifying publicly. For a case this significant, that absence is notable. If the ACCC loses, critics will claim the watchdog was pressured by cost of living politics. The Woolworths case might be abandoned. Was now, pricing would continue unchanged. Retailer confidence that they can push legal boundaries without consequence would be reinforced. Your move: document everything. Screenshot every was now ticket. Track prices yourself. Keep receipts from February 2022 to May 2023 if you still have them. Report suspicious pricing to the ACCC. If class actions launch after a Cruel's loss, you'll need documentation to claim refunds. The better your evidence, the more likely you'll receive compensation. Because this lawsuit isn't just about whether Cruel's misled customers on 245 products. It's about whether major retailers can systematically manipulate pricing psychology or whether consumers finally get protection and transparency. The case of the century will determine if Cruel's sees customers as people to serve honestly or marks to manipulate systematically for maximum profit extraction. If this video opened your eyes to how Cruel's really operates, consider joining the channel. Members get early access, bonus content, and exclusive breakdowns. Hit that join button to support us. Drop a comment with your worst Cruel's experience. Let's compare notes. Now you know the game, and maybe, just maybe, you'll get your money back.